Hi there, it's Krista here for your weekly reading for the sign of Capricorn for the week of April 15th to April 21st. I know this is up super late, so please forgive me. My schedule changes in 2 weeks and I'll have these up on time for you, I promise. So thanks for your patience. So this is for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. You can find information about me, how to get in touch with me and who I am in the description box, as well as a link to alwaysastrology.com, where you can enter your information to learn what your moon and rising signs are in case you don't already know, and it gives you a snapshot of your astrology chart as well. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, just leave those below. And again, this is for the 15th to the 21st. Happy Easter. I guess we're over Easter now, but I hope you had a great Easter, Capricorn. I'm going to be doing a bit of a different spread this time. Last week I did 3 cards for each deck. This week I'm going to do 5-card spread with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And then we're going to pull some additional guidance cards from the Healing with the Angel Oracle deck and the Medicine Card Tarot. All right, Capricorn. I wish for Capricorns all success and joy and wellness. I invoke spirits of love and light and beauty. I call upon Archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace, clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Mother Gaia to bless this reading for Capricorn. So we're looking for general messages for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of April 15th to the 21st. And certainly by knowing your moon and rising signs, you can look up those as well to see if they offer any additional guidance to Capricorn. This is a general reading, so whatever you're experiencing in life this week, whatever is prominent for you, you can apply this reading to that in a general way. If you want something personalized, obviously, you can certainly get a hold of me and we can do that. So we're looking at your central position is, wow, central position card is Yin, which is the opposite or the complement to Yang, which is your outcome card. Kind of cool. So just by looking so Yin and Yang are in your central and your outcome card, and then chaos and conflict is something that you're just coming out of. This is what you're just leaving or releasing, and that's in your recent past. It looks like you might be in tune with a balanced part of yourself, and again, in a general way, whether that's money or vacations or relationships or even the way that you think about something or the way that you talk to yourself or whatever. You may have done or been through something to even force you to come to terms with something. And again, in a general way, if something big and dramatic has happened in your life over the past week, then, apply it to that. If nothing's really, out of the ordinary and it's something on a smaller level, certainly apply to that. But it looks here like something has happened, perhaps externally, or you've been forced to face something where you are now in a position to understand the need for balance. Let's look at I'm going to draw 2 more cards, an external and internal influence card, and just get a greater idea about what that balance might be about. But in a general way, it could just be an emotional balance, or what you're giving is what you're getting, what you're getting is what you're giving. You feel like, just think of in terms of the scales, like the scales of justice, that things have to be fair, but also that things need to be different in order to complement each other. They need to be different. There has to be nighttime in order for there to be day, for example. There has to be winter in order for there to be summer. So either this is a discovery for you or something that you're merely saying, oh, I can apply that philosophy to, you know, like a natural law philosophy to all areas of my life, and things are simpler because of it. So we're just looking for 2 more cards here. It's got kind of wonky. Hold on. There we go. We're looking for an internal and external influence. So why you might have reached this place, or what you're doing with this new attitude. Or maybe it's an old attitude that you're putting into practice. You never practiced it before. It's just something that you're seeing now that's available to you that you've been forced to recognize, it looks like. So we just need external and internal influences for Capricorn for the week of April 15th until the 21st. All right. So it looks like you've got a lot of support around you. People, organizations, concepts, resources, a lot of support. And obviously you're supportive. It goes both ways. And then at the very bottom, which is internal influences, is exchanging gifts. So external is poise and internal is exchanging gifts. And this is lovely. It looks like you've been doing a lot of communication or a lot of learning. Exchanging gifts, for example, means, well, it can mean tangible things and presents, but it could just mean like a gift to yourself, or the gift of forgiveness, or the gift of giving yourself a break, or accepting something that was difficult to accept before. So look, we're going to look at those in detail in just a moment. The bottom of the deck is card 30, which is, ooh, lots of sunlight there, sorry. Where are you? TikTok. So this is not exactly the card of, I mean, intuitively, I would go with what you feel intuitively when you see these cards and images, by the way. If I'm saying that's something that's a bit off and you're seeing something or feeling something that I'm not focusing on in these cards, please trust your instinct and go with that. That's going to speak to you in a very specific way. But the TikTok card, for example, speaks more to the sense of timelessness rather than a sense of running out of time or being out of time. So you may have taken your time coming to this decision, or you may have felt like it's something that you were stuck in a little bit for too long, or it was uncomfortable there. But for whatever reason, you had to go through whatever that chaos and conflict was in order to get to this place of balance. So let's look at this in a teeny bit more detail here, Capricorn. We've got Yin is your central card. And again, I encourage you to look at imagery and colors and any items or terminology, items in the cards or terminology that I'm using that appeals to you or that you feel connects with you. Then I encourage you to run with that and always trust your instinct. So you have the central card Yin. Its number is 2. 2 is a feminine number. It's the number of the moon and cycles and women and all things related to the opposite, say, of the sun, which is in your outcome card. So you can consider these, for example, and we'll look at this in detail in a moment, but the yin is the counter weight to the yang. It's literally the symbol that you're thinking of, the black and white symbol, the ancient symbol of the yin and the yang. And it's black and white, it's woman, man, it's night and day, it's seasons, it's cycles. It literally means that one cannot exist without the other. It's something like good and evil too. And good and evil, in my view, is the best way I can explain it is to say that we know, for example, that cold, cold as opposed to heat, we know that cold is an absence of heat. It's not actually its own thing. It's just an absence of something. And that's exactly how I feel about good and evil. I think good is everything and everywhere, and that's all there is. And the only reason why there is hate or pain or anything opposite to love and goodness is a lack of love and goodness. It's not because hate is its own thing. It's not its own entity. It certainly works through entities, but it's really just a lack of love. So I think you're really feeling just an enormous balance, maybe even relief this week. And a sense that you maybe even like an aha moment, like you got something. Either that or you are willing to consider what you've now exposed or what you've been exposed to, what you've realized or what have you. You may be thinking, well, I don't have to rush through this. I can take my time through this. Or it deserves to be taken time. And it's not really a huge leap for a Capricorn to take their time, for example, with something. But I think you're willing to see the bigger picture here. And you're willing to take it maybe step by step. And you're also coming out of, let's look at what you're coming out of here, chaos and conflict. I see that this has been forced upon you or that you've been forced to face this because unless you are internally conflicted with something, and it could very well be, Capricorn, if this is your situation, you've been internally conflicted and you've gotten to a place where you're allowing yourself to admit even, look, there is a place for everything. There is a place for the dark. There is a place for emotion and not pure logic and social status, for example. That it's a very, not only positive thing, that it's a necessary thing. And it makes us fully human. I think what happens for many individuals, regardless of our signs, is that we can get caught up in one or the other. And that creates an imbalance, period. It doesn't matter what we're caught up in, what that looks like. It's an imbalance. So I think very sweetly and perhaps gently or as quickly as this entered your life or you were faced with this, I think it's been shattered. I think that chaos has been, or that conflict has been shattered, and you've given yourself a gift of grace or relief or just some level of peace here. There's some like you have a lot of support, and it could be, and we communicate with individuals in so many different ways now. It's not just face-to-face or over the phone. I mean, it could be over the internet. You could be speaking with someone in particular about something or watching someone in particular in order to learn something new or to gauge your response or your attitudes and opinions and worldviews against something else. And I think you're finding, for example, with the Poised card as an external influence, I think you're finding that you have more in common with these individuals or ideas and organizations than you previously thought you did. Even if you don't agree with everything that they're saying or they're doing, you can say, yeah, I can see their point of view for once, or I can see how they can come to that conclusion. So I think you're feeling energized by this experience. So whatever that experience is for you right now, Capricorn, I think you're feeling really energized by it. You might be feeling like I keep coming back to balance. I can't help it. There is, and I'm even just looking at the color coordinations here. There's the bright blue, the really watery, emotional, the fiery emotions, and then the gentle pink and purples with the, the spiritual release. So you could also be in a position to have gotten support whether that's resources or emotional or mental or whatever, and you have felt overly receptive, or maybe you were vulnerable and you needed a little bit of an exchange. You needed to hear from someone, or you needed to remind yourself that everything's okay. This isn't bad. This isn't wrong. This is a phase. And once that feeling is through, I think you're going to be back in action. I think you're willing to take action again. This could, look, it could be something as simple as just not feeling physically well, right? Like, it doesn't have to be like this big emotional problem, this big money, or, you know, whatever the problem is. Again, in a general reading, I'm asking that you apply this in a way that appeals to what you're personally going through this week. But I do see a lot of growth only through a sense of conflict. It's not like you had all the time in the world to deal with the conflict. It's just that now that the conflict is over, or you're passing through that, you're realizing that it was not only the time and the place and it was necessary, but now you have all the time you need to work with the new information or the new feeling than you did before. So let's look at your internal influences here, Capricorn. You've got exchanging gifts. So again, very pink, very feminine, lots of feel good, psychic, emotion, energy here. We're looking at intuition. So with the pink and the number 2 here, we could be speaking specifically about relationships, and relationships aren't always romantic. So it could be platonic relationships, or it could be even a relationship with yourself, your inner child, your inner parent, whatever that relationship is for you, a business partnership, whatever it is. And again, so this card could denote actual, you know, here's a present, let's give each other presents. But in a much larger sense than that, I think this is something that you've either given someone else or someone has given you, and you've internalized, and you're very thankful for this. You're very grateful for this. Or perhaps you're giving someone something that's precious to you, which is your emotions, right? So you're really feeling something this, like, not that you don't feel something every week, but you're really allowing yourself to feel something you weren't allowing yourself to feel before. There, I said it. Okay. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Outcome card is your yang. Pardon me. So again, like I said, it's the literal opposite of the yang, which is your central position. And this is just about cycles. This is just about complementary, night and day, black and white. One needs to exist for the other to exist. So, or you might have always known this, and you've, you know, are in a position to make your case with someone else, excuse me, who wasn't able to hear that message or to understand it. I know here that there's going to be more action. So as the week progresses into the weekend, you will be taking action on whatever transpired here, with the feeling that you got through this process. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful, because this is, it looks like what needs to happen is action. It looks like this needs to come out in one way or another. And you're really emboldened by it. And this is, like I said, it's the number 1, it's the card of the sun. It's got a big fireball in the center, which is, you know, fire is the element of action and passion, but it's encased in this cerulean blue. So not only are you very passionate, you're also very emotional. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that you're at a very honest, secure, even if somewhat vulnerable place, but you feel very connected and very supported right now. So wonderful news for you, Capricorn, this week. Let's look at some additional guidance cards from the Healing with the Angels Oracle deck. Looking for additional messages for Capricorn for the week of April 15th to April 21st. Additional messages for Capricorn. Oh, wow, two. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is so cute. All right, so the two cards that jumped out for you, Capricorn, are body care and new love. So again, it could be about couples, it could be about platonic relationships, even partnerships within business. The new love, trust me, it doesn't mean a romantic relationship, but it very well can. So as a general reading, depending on who you are and what you're experiencing this week, new love could very well be new romance, but it could be simply you fall in love with a new idea, you're in love with a new plan, you're in love with a new idea, a new way of doing things. You found a new way to love somebody, and never forget ourselves. So we all of us have relationships with ourselves, and this could be a new way to love yourself. And I say that because it's next to body care, and this is a really beautiful way for an individual to show that they love themselves is to take care of themselves. So if you're coming out of an illness or experiencing some bodily trauma, I think one of the first recourses, however counterintuitive it might seem, because we tend to get mad at ourselves, right, when we're sick or if something goes wrong or with our bodies or our health, we tend to get mad at ourselves or say, not now, or, twist your ankle, like stupid ankle. But it's actually not a really loving way to take care of yourself. So, and that could be relationships, again, business relationships, whatever this means to you. I think perhaps the lesson here is, instead of jumping to the not now or being mean to yourself, is to say, you know what, really pour extra love into the issue. Whatever it is that's troubling you, pour extra love into it. And then we're just going to draw another card from the Medicine Card Animal Tarot for some additional guidance for my dear Capricorns. I love my earth signs. I'm not an earth sign, but Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo are earth signs, and they're, unfortunately, in terms of like a spiritual sense, and really intuitive and powerful, really underrated. I mean, generally in astrology, unfortunately, not by me, because I know a lot of Capricorns, and I know a lot about your signs, and you're just really thoughtful, passionate, sexy, yet emotional people. Not emotional like out of sorts, but you really are sentimental in a lovely way. So we have Whale. This is gorgeous. Whale is the sister card, and the traditional tarot is the star. So this is your wishes. This is a wish card, and this could be it's time to make a wish. It could be wishes are coming true. It could be it's time to focus on what you really want to come true. I'm going to look up the main term for the word, though. Record keeper. Okay, so this is something that you are keeping tabs on. You'll notice, too, that it is a whale that's gone in the deep, deep ocean. Still waters run deep, right? There's a lot going on under the surface. And I love how I just said that you're sentimental. There's a lot of sentimentality for you this week, Capricorn. Sometimes I wish I did this backwards so I could just... Anyway. A lot of sentimentality. Really be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Take good care of yourself no matter what is approaching you this week. You're headed in the right direction. There's no reason to get angry or to be brisk with yourself. Wherever there is pain, whether that's in your body or your heart or with someone else in a relationship, whatever that relationship is, platonic, business, or romantic, the cards are asking that instead of reacting with aggression or even distance, to react with love, to shine love in the dark places. Anyway, my dear Capricorn, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Please join me next week for next week's reading, and let me know what you think about this one in the comments below, and take good care of yourself. Bye.